Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing an unboxing, review, and initial brush test of the Laifen Wave Electric Toothbrush, which is in this box right here. This is an electric toothbrush that you can currently get on Amazon for about $80. We'll go over all the features, but the main highlights are it includes 3 brush heads that last 3 months each. There's going to be a magnetic rechargeable stand for charging. It has a new technology that it has 60-degree oscillation with vibrations that are 60,000 beats per minute. So from my understanding, the oscillating brush head will oscillate but then vibrate at the same time, which is a unique technology. It includes the Laifen app for brushing, and we'll walk through that, get a sense of what that is, what the main features of that is, and how it benefits you for brushing. It'll have a built-in 2-minute timer with 30-second warning. And then lastly, it does have a pressure sensitive button as far as toggling through the different settings. So that's a lot of technology packed into this, but this is the box. It's basically just a cardboard box. Has a pull tab here as far as opening it. And we'll open this up and see what it looks like as far as the inside. And so basically that was just external packaging for the actual box that it comes in. And so here's the packaging of the actual toothbrush. I believe this is going to be the stainless steel design. They have several different color options, so you can check out the link below. But it's going to be a very, very shiny silver design, which is pretty cool, unique from that standpoint. It says Laifen on the side here. On the back, basically, it says that it includes the toothbrush handle, which is the stainless steel. It has a gum care brush head, which is transparent, a super clean brush head, which is transparent as well, an ultra whitening brush head, which is transparent. So the 3 separate brush heads are actually 3 separate types. So you have super clean, ultra whitening, and then gum care. And so that's a little bit unique because a lot of the other brushes that you see usually toggle through like 5 different brush settings. So it's interesting that they provide different brush heads, so you could either pick one that you want or cycle through different brush heads based on the color. From that standpoint, it'll have a USB-C to USB-A adapter with a magnetic charging cable, the guide, user manual. It'll have a 1-year warranty, and that's everything in here. But that's it as far as the packaging. Really very similar to like Apple packaging as far as the design. So here is another pull tab to actually open it, and it should, from my understanding, just pop out. And so there's the top of the box. And so here's the actual toothbrush. Before we go into it, we'll just open up the bottom here. This is virtually identical to Apple packaging, very, very similar to unboxing like an iPad or anything like that. And so in here they have designed by Laifen. It's got an insert here. It's basically copying Apple's unboxing, which is pretty crazy. It has a quick start guide, gives you information about the brush head, selecting the right brush head, so gum care, super clean, and ultra whitening, which is gray, blue, purplish, startup mode design. I'll go through all this throughout the video. Toggling through the different modes, and then customization modes that you can scan the QR code, download the app, and go through that. Those are the main things there, and I'll go through this all once I read the manual. So that's the user manual. Here is another separate user manual which looks identical, which I'll read as well. There's a warranty card for a 1-year warranty, and then this packet here for the insert there, which is really very similar to Apple. Inside here is the USB-A adapter. So it's USB-A to USB-C for the connection here. I'll take this out. And then it actually has, from my understanding, so it's a USB-C port on one end here, and then this is the magnetic mag charger, very similar to Apple too. Like it reminds me of like my old MacBook Pro, but basically it's a mag charger that'll reach the bottom of the toothbrush for charging, so it'll just magnetically there, and there is no wall adapter, so you have to do that, but that's the actual charger. And then here are the brush heads. Gosh, this is so eerie to feel like Apple. And So here are the three separate brush heads here. I'll take them each out. Basically, it's a soft, kind of like plasticky bristle on the top, curved design for this blue one. I believe this is the Ultra Clean. I'd have to go through it. It's a hard plastic as far as here, where it's clear. The base has a silver on the bottom here, but it's a sturdy, hard plastic, has this silver design across the back. And that's kind of what it looks like, but that's the gist there. This is the separate one. I think this is the gum care. And so this has just softer bristles, no rubber or anything like that. A little bit softer, not as hard, versus this one's a little bit of a harder plastic. Otherwise, very similar design. And then this is the other one here, which is purple. But this one's more like contoured up there with the purple indicator throughout and a couple like circular design patterns there. So those are the three brush heads. I don't remember which ones are. I think this is like Ultra Clean versus the other one, Deep Clean. But those are the three separate heads. And now we'll take a look at the actual toothbrush. And so here's the actual toothbrush. We'll get rid of the packaging there. But basically on the front here it says long press for first time use to disable the flight mode. So there is a travel mode that if you long press it, it'll prevent it from turning on its own. So it prevents the button from turning on, which is pretty cool. Press the power button to turn on after that, and then double press to switch modes. And so that's that. We'll tear this apart here. And wow, this is pretty beautiful in design. I gotta say, this is probably the coolest design toothbrush I've seen. Like this sleek silver throughout all. It's not a cheap plastic. It's a hard metal material encasing, and it's just shiny. I'm really curious to see what this looks like after you brush and like get toothpaste on it and stuff and dirt and grime. But overall, just first impressions, like right out of the packaging, that's shiny metal and it's very well made. It's very heavy in the hand too. It's not lightweight. It doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. So I'm very impressed with the design here right out of the packaging. Probably the best well-designed, like aesthetically pleasing toothbrush I've come across. As far as the other features on the top here, they actually have a case here that you can, when you're traveling or something like that, you can put this on so it doesn't damage it. So you might want to keep that if you need. But very similar design where the toothbrush head, we'll just grab one of them, inserts directly onto here and it should click into place, and it only should fit in one mode or direction. So if you look on, let me take this off. Actually, it might fit in different directions, but basically you can just put this on and it slides directly on. And the nice part about these brush heads is on the bottom here, there is like a silicone type of like rubber, which allows it to slide and secure into place so it doesn't slip or anything like that. As far as getting it out of the travel mode, you should be able to just press and hold this. Okay, so sorry, I had to read through the user manual and kind of play with this to figure out how it works. But out of the packaging, it was not fully charged. And so this is a good example of how the mag charger works. Is basically it's a magnetic charger where it clicks right on the bottom. There's an actual imprint there, right there, and that lines up and it'll immediately start charging. When the brush needs to be charged and it's actively charging, it'll toggle through a green light. And then once it's fully charged, it'll no longer kind of like vibrate or like oscillate through this green like blinking light, and it'll become fully like green. Out of the packaging, it's currently in travel mode. I was trying to mess with this, but basically if you press the power button, it illuminates this indicator light here, which shows an airplane, and that illuminates indicating that it's in travel mode and cannot be activated. In order to get in and out of travel mode, you basically press and hold for 2 seconds and it'll beep and kind of show that the airplane light is on, and that'll prevent it from turning on. The one caveat here is that if it's actively charging, you cannot toggle through the travel mode. So I messed with this brush for quite some time before I could figure this out and how it works. But basically now you should be able to press and hold for 2 seconds, and then it'll vibrate and then illuminate the airplane for a second, and illuminate up here indicating that the brush is now active and it can now function and turn on and off. In order to get back in travel mode, you basically just press and hold for 2 seconds, it'll illuminate the airplane and it'll go through travel mode so you can no longer activate it. So it's a built-in feature, but it's a little bit cumbersome the first time just because you've never dealt with that. But with the magnetic charger, you can't actually do that. So you do have to separate it and make sure it's fully charged. It does have an indicator light here showing that the battery's charged now. And then there's a light here for the different modes. Basically, all you have to do is press it on, and now it'll toggle through the different settings. There's going to be 3 separate modes that you can toggle through. One's going to be a sensitive mode, which they recommend using for the first time. There's going to be a daily, which this is the sensitive mode. Then if you press twice, it'll toggle through to the second light, and that's going to be a daily clean mode. And you press and hold, and it'll do that. Which should just oscillate a little bit quicker. And then if you press twice, press it and then press twice, sorry, it's just turning on. It'll toggle through the 3 lights, and this will be a plaque and whitening mode, which is built in, and you just press it and it'll oscillate a little bit quicker. So what I'll do now is just toggle through these, and hopefully you'll be able to see it on camera. But basically we'll turn off. So this is the white, we'll go to the sensitive mode first. Sorry. Yeah, so now we're on the sensitive mode. And so what you see here is it'll oscillate back and forth, which is that 60-degree vibration. And that's actually this part here in the brush head, that silver part, which allows it to oscillate back and forth, but then it ultrasonically vibrates at 60,000 beats per minute. And it's it's vibrating very, very quickly there. Now, if you stop it, double click, it'll go to the daily clean mode. We'll turn that on. And if you see here, it's just moving faster back and forth. And then we'll stop, toggle through. Sorry. It's a little bit, I think you have to, tap a little bit slower. And then this is the plaque and whitening mode, which oscillates a little bit quicker. So that's the 3 separate modes there. That's really all the features there. The silver, it looks really good. It does get fingerprints and kind of grease on it because it is a metal casing. But overall, it looks really nice. It does stand up on its own. They do say that once you turn this off, it'll naturally go into like a hibernation mode, where when it's standing up, all the lights turned off. And then if you lift it off like this, it'll illuminate the lights and indicate that it's now active. So that's a cool feature. And then if you look here, it shows a yellowish battery light indicator there rather than green. So it indicates that the light's going down. So it'll go from like green to yellow to red, and then it'll die. The battery life, they say, should last for 45 days, and it takes about 2.5 hours to recharge. And those are the main features here. Now, the only other thing I did want to do is I did want to walk through the app. Okay, so in order to download the app, I have iPhone. All you have to do is go to the App Store, type in Laifen for the search, and then download it. And I already downloaded it. Once you get into the app, the first go at this, it'll ask for your phone number and email, and it'll send a verification code. Once you get in here, it's going to look for Bluetooth devices, and so you're going to accept that so it can look for the Bluetooth device. You'll go to the top here where it says Add Device, and so here you're going to do the toothbrush, which is nearby, so it's on and activated. It'll actually just identify it right there, so you'll just tap that, and then it's connecting to the device. All right. Device information, you can give it a nickname, so Andrew's, sorry, I want to capitalize that, Andrew's toothbrush. And then select device model. It'll be stainless steel, but it has ABS model, aluminum alloy, but I have the stainless steel. Then you'll complete the addition here. And then this will give you information now, so we'll walk through this. So it says Andrew's toothbrush. It has a start on off. It has a travel mode, so you can toggle through that. Zone change reminder, so that gives you the 30-second zone changes within the 2 minutes. High frequency mode, and then it has vibration intensity, swing amplitude, and swing speed. And so these give you all the different customizable options here, which is pretty cool. And then currently it's on level 3. And so basically if you start this, it immediately turned on. Wow, this is really cool. I've never actually had an app-based toothbrush. You can turn it off. You can go into travel mode, which turned it on immediately, which is really, really cool. You can turn that off. You can go to zone change reminder, which actually just tells you like the zone change for the 30 seconds, which I think you should always use to time it frequency, time it right. It has a high frequency mode where it kind of double click that and indicated that the Bluetooth is indicating that. And then you can toggle through this as far as the vibration intensity. So you can go from 1 all the way up to 10. You can do swing amplitude all the way from 1 to 10, and then swing speed all the way from 1 to 10. And so this basically gives you, they say I think it's like 2,000 or 200,000 different options. I don't know exactly. But now you can go through all these different settings. And so what I'll do now is I'll basically just hit start, and we'll look at this as I go through this. So vibration intensity. So this is a 1, all right? And then you can increase it up incrementally. And you can hear the vibration actually increase. So this is all the way to 10. And so that's the most intense vibration there versus this is the 1. And so it's an immediate response, which is really, really cool there. So we'll leave it at 5 for now. Then swing amplitude gives you the swing of it. Sorry, I might have to turn this off to toggle through the swing. But basically, you turn it on. This is the swing there at the lowest setting. And then this is about 6, so it's oscillating back and forth a little bit more. And then this is the 10, so you can see that it's swinging way more. And so that's the 10 versus this is the 1. So it gives you a lot of variety there. All right, and then we'll put it back at 5. And then lastly is the swing speed. And so we'll see what this does. And so it's this, yeah, so it's the speed at which it's swinging back and forth as far as that. So you can see there it swings less as far, like less quickly. But those are the different options there. And then as we've been sitting here, every 30 seconds it vibrates briefly to give you the sense of when you should adjust where you're brushing in your mouth. So that's a really cool feature there. So that's that. We'll turn it off, so it turns off immediately. So with the app, really you don't need to use any of the settings here, and it's probably much more easier and convenient to do it this way. You also at the bottom here, you can toggle through different lengths of brushing from all the way from 1 minute to 1.5 to 2.5, all the way up to 5 minutes. So you can do that, but generally they do recommend doing 2 minutes from like a brushing standpoint. And then you have the option, it says here, it's labeled here, level 1, but basically you can customize each of these levels. So when it's starting off at level 1, the vibration intensity is 2, and then the amplitude and the swing speed is 5, versus at level 2 it's a 4, 6, 6, and then 3 is the one I just customized. But you can basically provide 3 separate customizations there based on your personal preference. And then on the last thing I did want to show you is at the top here, it actually shows the battery life of the toothbrush. So if you see here, it's turning red because it's dying. And on the top here, it shows you the battery life there. So that's it there. It does show that that single toothbrush, but you do have the option of adding more devices if you have multiple brushes, or if you have multiple family members that are using a single, like the single app there. But that's the main features, I think. I'm pretty impressed with this. This is probably the best technologically and aesthetically pleasing toothbrush I've come across. Now what we'll do is we'll brush with this for the very first time to get a sense of how it performs. Okay, so now we're gonna brush with the Laifen for the very first time. For the first time, I'm just gonna use their built-in mode 1, just because it's more of like a sensitive mode. Okay, so it's been 2 minutes. If you didn't notice, basically every 30 seconds it would vibrate like twice to indicate when you should maneuver like the toothbrush into a different quadrant, which is kind of a main feature of most toothbrushes these days. And then at 2 minutes, it actually stopped entirely, which prevents you from overbrushing or brushing too long. As far as feedback, my teeth feel phenomenal. I'll say like that cleaned superbly well, probably the best I've seen for a toothbrush. And it was a very, very interesting kind of sensation and feel with this. Basically, it felt like it was like oscillating, like pulsating like crazy, like a normal toothbrush, like an ultrasonic toothbrush, but then it vibrated at the same time. So it almost felt like a water pick sensation where it was like getting through your teeth like deeply. The nice part is, at least the gum care one, it's very soft bristles, so it's not too intense. So I don't feel like I irritated my gums or anything. And I have mixed feelings about the brush head size. So if you look here, it's a little bit smaller than other brush heads, like the overall diameter or like the footprint of it. But the nice part about that is it allowed you to reach like around your tooth and through the crevices a little bit more and maneuver it. And so with the oscillating feature of the vibrations plus the 60-degree, I feel like I was really reaching in between my teeth much easier as compared to like a larger footprint for the toothbrush. Now, the other thing is, as far as with the oscillating, the ultrasonic nature of it, I previously broke my jaw and I have like trigeminal neuralgia and stuff. This did not overstimulate my gums or anything like that. I previously had like the Luminex one and a couple other ultrasonic ones that I noticed that when I first used it, it really irritated my gum line and everything like that from like overstimulation. So with at least the lower setting, the gum care mode, it didn't do that, which is nice. But overall, it cleaned very, very well. And that was just one setting that's built in, but the customizability of this is really cool. The overall aesthetics is very pleasing. The travel mode is really nice. The brush head design is really nice. Like, I have, to be honest, no complaints about this. I'm really curious to see how this brush performs. And so what I'll do is I'll just brush with this over the next month or so and circle back to see if I run into any issues as far as durability, like battery life or anything like that. But so far, just looking at this is definitely the most aesthetically pleasing and technologically advanced toothbrush I've had, especially with the app features. So I'm really, really impressed with this. So definitely check it out. It's only $80, which is very comparable to other or electric toothbrushes. And at that price, all the different features, the different modes, the brush heads, the app, all that is well worthwhile as far as the overall design. And I'm really impressed with this. But that's all I have. Thanks for watching and have a good night.